And then proverbial shit hit the fan, to say the least. Oh, great. They're going to need another second half comeback. The defense is playing like miserably again. They're going to need Cam Ward to be superhero again. But that wasn't the case. The defense buckled down in the second half. And then yesterday, November 30th, 2024 happened. You needed a win against Syracuse to get into the ACC championship game against SMU of all teams. Who would have thought you would have been saying that at the beginning of the season?
Not me. Them in. You can't have a you can't have an Alabama team that's kind of on the fence and then say, "Oh, no,
Yeah.
we're going to leave them out for, the Miami Hurricanes."
No,
There's
the
no way.
only reason why Alabama's going to get in is because even though they have three losses, they've played a better schedule and they
Yep.
have wins against ranked opponents. That's the only reason why they're going to put Alabama in. And even though Miami hasn't played any ranked opponents, Miami has two losses. Both losses have come on the road as a top
Yep.
10 team against unranked opponents.
But I just think it has to fall. We have to sure the players are to blame, of course, at the end of the day, they're the ones who go out on the field. But at the same time, I think you have to reflect as a coaching staff and look at they surely saw the same trends that all of us fans, journalists, reporters saw of what was happening in this Miami defense. And I think obviously it's their responsibility to fix it and say, hey, we're not on the right track. We're going to change something. And week after week after week after week, you see the same thing. And when there's a certain problem plaguing a team and you as a coach can't fix it, um, I honestly can't find any other word than incompetence because we saw no difference. There was not a single, and you can't tell me, oh, well, because even against Florida State, I know they only scored 14 points, but my goodness, our defensive line could get zero pressure. Like just being there
Nope.
in the student section, we were all just screaming, why is this guy still running? How is he still on his feet? Like,
Yep.
what is going on? And I think that just comes down to if you can't make the necessary coaching adjustments when you have a season that, you say next year, but next year isn't promised. You won't have a Cam Ward again. Um, Alrighty,
Alrighty,
Mike,
Mike,
kick
us
us off.
off.
All
2025.
righty. All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. We know you've waited for a couple weeks now, little over a month. But ladies and gentlemen, be forever blessed because the return of the Muelendez Monthly Sports Spectrum is back. I'm Michael Muela. He's AJ Mendez. Guys, it's an absolute honor to be back. Happy New Year. Happy holidays to those of you who celebrate. What a great holiday it was for me. Me in particular. I got some new drip. And I got a new haircut too. So looking a little differently to start 2025. We're up. We back. And AJ, how you feeling, brother?
No, I'm
Nah,
feeling
feeling
great.
great.
I
I
agree
agree
with
with
you.
you.
I
I
think
think
it's been a great holiday. I think whatever you've looked for, whether it's been the NBA, the NFL, um, college football, the Premier League, La Liga, everything. It's had everything in terms of sport. All these different, I mean, you had Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. I mean, everything. So
Count 'em
whatever
up.
you were. Hmm?
I said, count them up. Count them up.
Yep. I mean, count them up, count the entertainment, count the relaxation, but it's been quite a time for college football, and that's what I think we gotta get into because I think now you see Ohio State, which I don't know about you, but your favorite to win it.
Um, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. Ohio State. I think we've been going back and forth about this in the Sports Desk group chat, Snapchat. Which shout out to Sports Desk, by the way, UMTV dot Miami.edu. Go watch it. Phenomenal show, phenomenal people. We've been going back and forth
Look
about
at the
it.
plug. Dude,
Of course, Bert.
I think my 517 packages are gonna end up going on Sports Desk because I want to be on it, but with 5-17, man, it's gonna be
Yeah.
quite a time. It's gonna be quite a time to be
Mhm.
alive.
Yeah, for sure. But like we were saying, I think we've been going about this back and forth in the group chat, but we've been saying that losing to Michigan was probably the best thing that could have happened to Ohio State all year because they were confident, they were riding high, they had a lot of momentum. I mean, the only good, like really good, talented team that they had played all year up to that point was Oregon, and they only lost by a point. I think it was like a 32 to 31 game in Eugene, and that was the only loss that Ohio State had.
I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you, Mike, because then we're gonna talk about that game. But in order to talk about this game, we need to clarify something. Is this
Okay.
Oregon? Oregon? I hear that a lot in Florida. But
I say Oregon, I say Nevada.
see,
I
that's another one.
say
That's
I
another
say
one.
a lot. Like a lot of people say New Hampshire, I say New Hampshire.
Yeah, well, it's fun. The Boston accent in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Or is that
Yeah,
Jersey?
because
That's
from
Jersey.
Boston.
Yep,
I guess
exactly.
Joyce's. I
But
guess Joyce's kind of like Joycey.
yeah, Jersey. But
You gotta talk about Joycey. You gotta kind of talk like Peter Griffin.
that's a good one. I like that character. I like that character.
Yeah.
Well done.
Shout out to Seth MacFarlane.
Shout out to Seth MacFarlane. Absolute legend. Absolute legend.
Yeah.
But to go back to Oregon, however you want to say it, I think they were by far the most disappointing team, of course, in the playoff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I had a lot of friends myself that go to Oregon fans and alums, and everybody was just kind of, it was all set up to be, hey, New Year's Day, it's the Rose Bowl, come on down, and it was, a big time disaster, in my opinion. That game for Ohio State, do you think that was a turning point, kind of, and at least, you go into the playoff, you think, okay, what version of our team is going to show up? And then you get that result off the bat. You think that kind of propelled them then? Because up to this point, how I see it, nobody's really given Ohio State the fight that I think we're going to see from Notre Dame. But I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I actually want to take it a step further back, and I want to say that the Tennessee game in the first round propelled them when they hosted the Volunteers in Columbus. I mean, they were up, what was it, 21-0 after their first three possessions, and they ended up obliterating Tennessee 42-17. Like, yeah, okay, that score was 42-17, but I think at one point it was like 31 or 38 to whatever the score was, like 10 or something. But Tennessee was outclassed. They were out physical, and they were just out coached, frankly, by Ohio State. And I think that moment on really kind of shifted Ohio State's momentum because people were questioning Ryan Day's job going into the college football playoff. It's like,
Crazy,
okay, he's 1-4 against Michigan. He's 1-4 in his career against Michigan in the regular season, and he's lost to them each of the last four seasons. So then people were like, okay, I mean, they're still a playoff team, sure, but no national championships. Can they go win the big one? And it really started with the Tennessee game because people were saying that if he didn't win that game, that his job may have been on the line, that he would have been on the hot seat.
Yeah.
And he said, time to prove the haters wrong, and he did exactly that with Will Howard, Travion Henderson, and Miami local star freshman Jeremiah Smith, the most unguardable player in the entire college football playoff right now. And then you go into the Rose Bowl thinking, okay, rematch, Ohio State's taking revenge. I think this is going to be a very close, very physical game. But I think that Oregon is a much more talented team and a much more offensively powerhouse favored team. Ohio State just completely silenced that, completely proved everybody wrong, flipped the odds. They were up 31-0 on Oregon in the first half of the Rose Bowl. Ohio State went on to win the game 41-21. And people were saying that Dylan Gabriel finished third in the Heisman voting. I'm sorry, but I'm a Cam Ward fan, being a Miami student and alumni and a Hurricane fan. All I want, and I'll give credit where credit's due. But I was watching that game, and you could not pay me enough money to say that Dylan Gabriel should have got more votes in the Heisman Trophy race than Cam Ward. Oh, but Cam Ward plays on Miami. He doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. Yeah. Okay. Outside of Tez Johnson, who was Dylan Gabriel throwing the ball to? Was Dylan Gabriel scrambling out of the pocket? Was Dylan Gabriel having to lead his team on dramatic comebacks every single day and have Heisman moment after Heisman moment after Heisman moment? No. And give credit where credit's due. Oregon has an extremely talented defense. Clearly not in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State because they were dominated. But I was looking at that game, and I just think, Will Howard played a phenomenal game. He didn't turn the football over. They got the running game going with Travion Henderson early. They were throwing the ball to all of their receivers in Emeka Egbuka and Jeremiah Smith. And they were just getting the ball to their playmakers. And Oregon just simply wasn't able to do that. I mean, Caleb Downs is one of the best defensive backs in the country. I personally think he is the best defensive back in the country. And think about this. He left Alabama to go to Ohio State. He left Alabama because Nick Saban retired. So he entered the portal where he knew he was going to be a star, and he ended up going to Ohio State to give himself a shot at playing in the playoff. Because I think we all knew going into the season way back in August that Ohio State was going to be in the playoff no matter what happened over the course of the year. But I really like Ohio State in the national championship in Atlanta. Plus, if you're a Miami kid, you were born and bred to root against Notre Dame. Always. So for me,
I know that.
Yes, you are. There's no logical reasoning for it. It's just a way of life.
I got here on Thursday, right? Listen to this. Well, number one, think about how diabolical you have to be. Look at this picture.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was at Barracudas. Are you kidding me?
Notre Dame Messi jersey?
Are you kidding me? They were swarming the Grove. It was Notre Dame fest.
To be fair, I played in the Orange Bowl.
No, I understand why they were there. I understand. I was just surprised, like
there was just a massive event, as many as there were.
Everywhere. And you just see, from the minute I landed, I realized they were coming out, and I honestly didn't see any Penn State people at the airport, nothing like that. But now that I mentioned Penn State, and we talked about the Heisman, what do you think about? Are you still after seeing the performance? Because really, when you talk about the Heisman candidates, I think for me it was very hard to see Travis Hunter win because I don't think he's the best on either side of the ball.
He's not.
So I don't really think that there's anyone that says, "Oh, he's the best corner in college football." Oh, he's the best receiver in college football. I don't even think Colorado fans think that. So I don't think he should have been the winner. But
no.
To then watch Ashton Genty against really only the third good team they played all year. I mean, Boise State played Oregon, close game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they played UNLV. That was
the Mountain West Championship game.
Yep. And that was really about it in terms of the tough games, like tough competition that Genty faced.
Mm-hmm.
And then to only rush for just over 100 yards against Penn State.
Let's give credit to Penn State because they have a ferocious defensive line.
They do.
Led by Abdul Carter, who's probably going to be a top 5 pick, maybe even top 3 pick.
You think Cam Ward slides out of the top 5? I think he might.
No, I think Cam Ward's going number 1.
Really?
I don't. Tennessee needs a quarterback. I don't see them trading out of number one unless it's like a team that desperately needs the quarterback help. Like probably the Giants, maybe. I mean, they could also make a one for one with Cleveland, just moving back and forth between one and two.
Yeah.
That way, Cleveland fixes their quarterback problem because Deshaun Watson just ended up just ruptured his Achilles for a second time going through his rehab.
Whoops. Maybe he can get a massage for that. Oh, no. Maybe not the best idea.
That is wrong. You are so wrong for that. But anyway,
Whoops. At least we're not on WVU, right?
That's true. Shout out to WVU.
Shout out.
But or they could even possibly move with the Giants to number three, I think, because they also need some help in the quarterback room because Daniel Jones wasn't the answer. He's not on the roster anymore. I don't think you can really put your faith in Drew Lock as the full-time, long-term starter. Which don't get me wrong, I like Drew Lock. I think he's a good kid, great quarterback.
I don't know about great quarterback. I'm sorry.
I mean, okay, he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's a professional quarterback. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, he's good. And then he plays hard. He's tough. I just don't think that Cam Ward slides out of the top five. If he does, I think it would only be to six. I don't think he's falling as far as 10 or 9. But in my personal opinion, I would put
Give me Cam Ward Seahawks, please.
I would put Cam Ward number one to Tennessee. Then I would probably do Shador.
I hate seeing that happy.
Then I would probably put Shador to Cleveland. Then I would pair Malik Neighbors with Travis Hunter at 3. And then that's probably where I would go for the top 3. And then pick 4 is the Patriots, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Then I would go ahead and give the Patriots Abdul Carter because they're going to need some help on the defensive front. Because a lot of their older players are kind of getting up there. I think it's a very talented draft class, but I don't think that Cam Ward slides out of the top 3. And he's not 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's interesting when we saw obviously the Pop-Tarts Bowl and players like because for me
and I was at that game.
The games I imagine. Would you like Camping World? Camping World is
good. It's okay. It's an okay stadium, but they are getting a $400 million renovation coming up soon. So that's going to be
Orange County.
Yeah, Orlando is like Orange County, but Camping World is like maybe 25 minutes from my place up here. So it wasn't that bad of a drive. Traffic to get out of there though was pretty rough. I had to go to a wrestling show like right after, which was awesome. By the way, shout out to AEW. But yeah, going back to the whole Ashton Jeanty conversation, I think that he should have won the Heisman. I mean, when else are we going to see a guy run for 2,500 yards and 30 touchdowns in a season and almost catch the greatest running back of all time, in my opinion, Barry Sanders, putting up numbers the way that he did. I mean, he was averaging 192 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground per game. I mean, who else in the country is doing that in this day and age? Not a lot of people. So I think he is the real deal. I think he's a top 10 draft pick. I can honestly probably actually see him going to maybe Seattle because they're going to need some additional help in the running back room outside of Kenneth Walker. I could also see him going to Dallas because they're going to need a feature back outside of Rico Dowdle.
Better not go to Dallas.
Well, let's think about it. Dallas makes a lot of sense because they need help in the running back room.
I feel like he looks great in a Cowboys uniform, but I don't want to see him there.
I don't think anybody wants to see him there, except for Cowboy fans.
Of course.
But let's think about it, though, because he He runs the ball hard, which is good for a Dallas offensive line, which is like on average like 6'4", 335. And they need help out in the running back room because Ezekiel Elliott wasn't in it when they tried to bring him back. Rico Dowdle is going to be the long-term answer. And Tony Pollard, they let him walk in free agency. So it's not like you have that star running back anymore. But
Dallas a lot of help. And
there's no question that he'll be a top 10 pick, though.
Yeah.
I think he's a real deal, and he should have won the Heisman.
Yeah, it was. I think it's unfortunate that his season ended the way it did, because I think it kind of didn't, for a lot of fans that might have heard about him, but never caught a Portland State Boise State game. Not typical game. A lot of eyeballs in America are going to be on, but just unfortunate that he wasn't able to put on the show that we kind of all wanted and expected from him. That was too bad, but I think it was that for me. There's been a couple, I'd say. I'm trying to think of another moment that really shocked me, other than of course, Arizona State.
Oh yeah,
Texas, fourth and long. Are you kidding me? Not only do they get the first, they get scored on in OT. They have them down to, I mean, it at the end, it doesn't matter. I really don't think ASU's beating Ohio State.
No
chance.
I mean, you can't really rely on Sam Levitt and Cam Scatterbo to do everything for that offense.
Yeah, no, I mean, but still, some shocking.
Maybe if they still had Brandon Ayuk, maybe.
Maybe.
But by the way, amazing game between Texas and ASU.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing game.
Great game. Fantastic game. That was a nail biter, and all the way until the very end. Very entertaining. I thought, honestly, the Orange Bowl was up there too.
Orange Bowl was a good game. Turnover just cost Penn State.
For me, it's really interesting just to look at the two semifinals, and when you realize what seeds those teams are, you realize that there's a lot of tweaking still left to do in the playoffs as you go.
Yeah.
The national championship is 7v8. And I don't really think that's how it's intended to work. Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Maybe it is, because it also gives those teams a chance that you wouldn't typically see in the national championship game. I mean, granted, Notre Dame hasn't been in the game since 19. They haven't won since 1989, but they haven't been in the championship game since 2013. And that was Manti Te'o's final season at Notre Dame. And that feels like forever ago.
Yeah.
And that team that they played against, Notre Dame, was quarterbacked by Jameis Winston. That's how long ago that was. But anyway, I like the new college football 12-team playoff because it gives you teams that you wouldn't typically see. Like SMU was there, even though they got destroyed. Tennessee was there. Oregon was there for a long time. And then, like I just said, Notre Dame, who's an independent, so they didn't even get in as a conference champion. They got in as an independent, but because they played so well, they had a really rough game against Northern Illinois, and people were thinking, wait, is Notre Dame a fraud? Are they frauds? Like, are they going to get in? But after that they won 13 in a row.
How about
that? They got by Indiana in the first round. The score was 27-17 at the end of the game. But let's be real. The game was 27-3 at one point. Okay? So Notre Dame just outclassed Indiana, had no right being on the field with Notre Dame. And then they embarrassed Georgia, which I think came as a shock to everybody. To win 13 straight games to get to the national champion, or to get to the semifinal. And then they played a very tough, physical aggressive Penn State defensive team, and they put 27 points on the board against them, which not a lot of teams put up 20 against Penn State, and Notre Dame put up 27 against them. So that's a testament to Marcus Freeman and his coaching staff and his players. So I think Notre Dame has a very good shot at winning the national championship. The only question for them is how are they going to slow down Travion Henderson and Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka? I think if they can force Will Howard into those off-balance throws and turnovers, I think Notre Dame will do a good job. But I just think that Ohio State is too talented offensively and defensively. I mean, Jack Sawyer and Caleb Downs, and I mean, Tuiyomalau. I just think that Ohio State is way too talented to let that game go for them. And as much as it pains me to say it, I think that Ohio State will be the 2024 national champions.
Yeah. I really like, I mean, it's a tough one, but I just you kind of see these storyline players, I for the longest time, I'm pretty sure this has to have been one of the most looked up things in America if Mitch Jeter was related to Derek Jeter. Because it's just those moments you see Jeter running out there for a 50-yarder. What is bro doing? Why is he? Didn't you retire, bro? But there's certain pieces. I think Ohio State has more weapons, but there's just certain guys you feel like can come up big. I mean, Marcus Freeman is going to keep getting asked this entire week, how it feels to be the first black coach and this and that.
Right.
He's kind of brushed it off and kind of been like, it's not about me. And that's what I do like about this Notre Dame team is it comes from the top, that mentality of, we don't need to have an electric Jeremiah Smith type player. We'd love to have him. Sure, we don't really. I mean, I think that you get something popping up. I wonder if the running out of time pops up on the recording. I don't think it does.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it does. But
anyway.
I mean, Jaden Greathouse had a great game. I mean, I don't think he's like your full-on go-to guy for Notre Dame. Maybe he is. But you have a couple good receivers. But I think it's just going to come down to will certain players on the defensive side. I mean, I think if you see some good safety play from Rod Hurd, there's a couple good players in that secondary. I'm trying to think of who else.
I mean, regardless, Notre Dame just has a very talented team all around.
Yeah. I mean, I like Christian Gray. I like Christian Gray.
Christian Gray is a good man.
A lot of coverage from on Jeremiah, I think will come at some point, some pressure from Gray, just to try to slow him down. You're not going to stop him, but slow them down a little, get them out of rhythm, because I do think that that Howard to Smith connection is gonna really be. I mean, we've seen sort of slugfest games. Yeah, the defense plays an important part, but you just get those weapons, you get them working. It's gonna be difficult to stop Ohio State, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's one of those games where, to be honest, I really don't care who wins. Really don't.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect me really in any way emotionally. So yeah, should be. I think it's going to be a good close to what's been the first true college football season where it's this new model. It's the first of many to come. But any other final thoughts from you, Mike?
I think we do need to talk about the University of Miami. So they do have a new defensive coordinator. They fired Lance Guidry after 2 seasons. Lance Guidry, of course, was brought in to Mario Cristobal's staff from the Marshall Thundering Herd, and his first year was a rough one. They went 7-5, and then they ended up giving up 21 points to Rutgers in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, and what would be Curry's Browns' final game as a University of Miami Hurricane. And then
I
sure
can't
enough, they
forget that
didn't.
man. I can't.
I know.
How
And
could
then
you make child Curry? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
and then
I apologize.
no, you're good. And then
You could
the
apologize
second
to him.
year, sure. And then the second year, they start off great. They only allow 17 points against Florida. They only allow what was it, 9 against FAMU. They shut out Ball State, and they allow 15 against South Florida. So it's like, okay, great. This is a really good start. And then immediately after the bye week, you give up 34 at home to open the conference schedule against Virginia Tech. I think that should have raised red flags immediately. Immediately. To then go to, what was it? Go to Louisville, I think, right after that. And then they allow 45, but fair credit to Louisville. They're a very talented team. But I mean, you give up almost 40 points a game in your conference schedule to end the year, lose two of your final three games to unranked teams on the road and miss the college football playoff. And then in the bowl game, you give up 42 points to a talented Iowa State team, sure. But I mean, it was just ridiculous. So they decided to finally, make the move and dismiss Lance Guidry.
Mike.
I know.
Where's
I know.
Mike?
I'm sorry.
Mike.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They decide to go ahead and hire Minnesota defensive coordinator Corey Heatherman, which I think is a smart move. He knows how to play in those big scheme defenses against big time opponents. So I think it's a smart move. But then in the transfer portal, back-to-back years, last year, so this past year, they bring in Cam Ward from Washington State, has the best season ever by my Hurricane quarterback. 400,000 yards, 40 touchdown passes. But then you're thinking, in the bowl game, after it's over, we're really going to have to ride the 2025 season with Emory Williams. Not so fast, says Mario. Goes in the portal and gets Carson Beck from the University of Georgia. Two-time national champion. I mean, that first year he was playing behind Stetson Bennett. And then the second year, he leads Georgia to the national championship again, back-to-back years. And then last year, it was a rough year for Georgia. They didn't have as successful season as they did, or as they would have wanted. Same thing with this year. I mean, obviously Carson Beck was hurt right at the end. He underwent elbow surgery. And then he announced he's going to the draft. But then, hold on. He takes his name out of the draft, enters the portal, and then immediately, less than a day later, practically, commits to the U. So the Hurricanes are going to have their QB1 next year, and they're going to have a new wide receiver one in C.J. Daniels, the LSU transfer. They're loading up. They're loading up in their secondary, cornerback and safety, which is something that decimated the team this year, letting the big plays happen. So I think 2025 is going to be a good year. Do I think it's going to be as good of a year as going 10-2 in the regular season? No. But do I think that the Hurricanes are going to compete for a championship? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so. I mean, I think it'd be great to have one, because I was a little worried. Well, it's too bad this year ended the way it did for Miami. Because I feel like when you're other schools, when you're in Alabama, you don't really care. Like, all right, you didn't make the playoff, whatever. Like, didn't win the Natty this year, boo hoo. But I'm just glad that we'll have a chance to get a good team on the field and rebuild it. Because it's going to be needed. But shout out to Hannah Cavender for going in the portal. That Mario had nothing to do with that. Hannah,
I was texting the family group chat. I was like, P.S. It was totally Hannah Cavender, by the way.
Yeah. She said, I'm out here in Miami. And I won't
Versus
say
like
that lyric.
okay.
But yeah. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mike?
No,
I think that covers it. So
I think so. Be sure to go ahead and make sure that you tune in to all of our episodes at El Maestro Media on YouTube, on Insta, on Twitter, everywhere you can find us on social media. And make sure you guys watch the national championship game between Ohio State and Notre Dame on January 20th, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. Once again, from all of us here at El Maestro Media, from Miami to Orlando and all across the world. He's AJ Muelendez. I'm Michael Muelendez. Thank you so much for watching the January episode, the College Football Part 2 edition, the CFP, the Natty, Ashton Janty, the Heisman conversation, and the Carson Beck news. Be sure to stay tuned next month for our February episode. We're going to have a lot more to talk about, so stay tuned. We'll see you next time.